Isn't it time you got your pilot's license? Call Ocala Aviation today. 352-861-7484. That's 352-861-7484. Hey, you've earned it. Call today.
Howdy folks, RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen has some of the best char-grilled chicken breasts on earth, as well as their chicken breast salad. And the burgers are exceptional, cooked on a real grill for the best flavor and less fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequaled. Personally, banana split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talk. 352-622-9622 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the show. Everybody wants to talk about how, they think that there should be frank discussion and all. I'm giving you the opportunity right now. Let's have a frank discussion about racism. Let's have a frank discussion about how both sides are trying to fight and turn us one way or the other. We have a lot more in common with each other than either side wants us to believe. We're humans. That's a race we're all part of. But we don't have enough frank discussion about race. There's some advantages and disadvantages to all races in this country. And it's set up, sometimes, I think things are set up to keep the divisions instead of trying to get rid of the divisions. It's been throughout history, you've heard even presidents say, we have to keep people dependent on us so they'll vote for us. And that usually falls along racial lines. Why is that? Why do they think that they need to keep the argument of race going? And I understand there are some significant differences, and there are some people who hate other people because of the color of their skin. And it is everywhere. Try to be a person of color or even a white person and try to go to a traditional Asian family and see how much animosity you're met with trying to date either a girl or a guy in a traditional Asian family not being of Asian descent. See some of the difficulties you have to go through to do that. Try to be a Indian of Indian descent and find a traditional Indian family that doesn't believe in anything except Indian families marrying or arranged marriage. And by the way, arranged marriages still happen every day. And try to be somebody of different ethnic background than that Indian family and try to date inside of that family. See what kind of strife you face. The frank discussion is racism is much bigger than black and white. In this country, we only want to talk about black and white racism. That's the only racism we care about talking about. When in fact, racism exists amongst all cultures by people who are uneducated and just not smart enough to realize race does nothing but harm and hurt. Racism does nothing but harm and hurt. But like I said, I had a student that came to me asking me for help because they didn't know how to get past the grandmother and father that didn't want them to date their Asian child, their Asian grandchild. And this was an African-American kid that played football for me. But we don't talk about that's racism. No, that's not black and white. That's Asian and black. Look, they're both minorities. It's not a racism thing. That's just a cultural thing. Huh? That's the problem, is we don't have actual, truthful, understandable race conversations. And so it leads to these chasms that eventually lead to a maniac like this moron in Buffalo over the weekend. Or the idiot that shot up the church Sunday school class in Charleston, South Carolina. It's a much different situation than we want to admit. And we think if we don't talk about it, somehow it'll miraculously. Morgan Freeman said, you know how to end racism? Don't talk about it. What? Then it just festers under the surface. You got to talk about it and move past it. Or at least that's how I see it. How do you see it? 622-9622. Obviously you don't, because, I'll sit here say something. I'll sit here and say something about changing the city council, changing him and her to they and them. People freak out, call this show 9 times out of 10. You start talking something about racism that actually impacts people's lives on a daily basis. Crickets. Oh, but don't change the pronouns. Oh, God, that could end the world. A kid became such a racist that he thought and planned out the mass execution of African Americans. At least he didn't change the charter to them and they. That's much more important. Yeah, right. We'll take a break. We'll be back at this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Shamrock Security Systems, 629-3223. Shamrock Security Systems is located here in Ocala, Florida. Shamrock Security Systems is a top-rated alarm company.
USA Radio News with Tim Berg.
It was a weekend of shootings across the United States, the worst in Buffalo, New York, where authorities say an 18-year-old is accused of killing 10 people at a supermarket